Game Club Pod. That is the second time that you'll have heard that jingle, or third time if you actually listen to the outro. My name is Joey Fitz. I'm your host today. I'm joined as ever by Alex.
Hello.
And Tim.
Hello.
But, guys, we couldn't do an episode on Rainbow Six Siege without inviting on the one, the only, the Maverick, the Legend, the Jackal, the Denari, we'll get into what all this means. The host of Major Tuneage and Reboot, Deboot, Twitch streamer, Griffin. Griffin, welcome along.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
You feeling the pressure of the Game Club Pod?
No, not at all.
No. Griffin, you've really kindly agreed to come on to here and talk about Rainbow Six Siege with us. You are the highest ranked Rainbow Six Siege player in the world. We thought there would be no one better to speak about it. But you do loads of stuff, man. Like, tell us what's going on with Griffin. What should people check out?
I would never pimp myself out on the marvel that is Game Club. But since you asked, I am a self-published author. I have 7 books under my belt over 5 years. I also stream on Twitch, and then I run 2 podcasts.
And where can people find them? What are they about?
So I've got a movie podcast called Reboot, Deboot, where my friend Alex and I, co-host Griffin, we watch and review movies and then their remakes and rebooted franchises. And then we just kind of break it down. Is this movie necessary? Was the remake necessary? Has anything been added or taken away? Is the spirit of the movie and things like that hold up over time, and et cetera, et cetera. And then at the end, we always ask the question, were you going to reboot or deboot? As in, is this franchise, could this be done again, or has the definitive version of this product already existed? And then over at a more recent podcast, my good friend Mark Standing Point Buffalo Jones and I, we are hosts of the Major Tuneage podcast, where we go back and forth on nominating albums that we're going to be discussing, and then we kind of break that down, review it, talk about it, and it's good. The point of Major Tuneage, though, and I want to stress this, we're not going to talk about Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. We're not going to talk about the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. We're not going to cover any of the classic albums that you can find in Pitchfork, Pavement, Rolling Stone. Everyone already knows why those albums are great. Everyone knows why those bands are legacy bands. And, we already know Eminem is the GOAT. And we already know that we're not going to cover any album that you can find anywhere else. Mark and I are focusing on albums and bands and genres that maybe people overlooked, people don't really think about, or some indie albums or some genres that just don't really ever get paid attention to by the larger mainstream music syndicates.
Okay. When is the episode on Rumours by Fleetwood Mac?
That is coming out next week. Specifically with you hosting that one.
That Joey's live.
And then the writing, I do post-beat poetry, picking up where Kerouac and Bukowski left off. I write children's books. I am a punk rock child of Mother Goose, one of her pissed off kids that she left behind. And then I also write horror stories.
Interesting.
So
good stuff.
That's kind of what I do.
We're waiting for Joey to come
Joey
back.
with the Fleetwood Mac so much that he's gone.
That wasn't the case. I do really not like Fleetwood Mac, Griffin. I'm sure that's a conversation for another day. But I was saying to these guys in our last recording, I reckon that we've done close to, I think, between 700 and 800 episodes of this podcast. And I've never been interrupted by my 4-year-old son. And it's happened now 2 recording sessions in a row. You might have seen him just for a second pop in. And I said, "What are you doing up?" And he went, "I just want a cuddle." And when a 4-year-old child says that, you can't say no, can you?
Sure, yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. Sorry, Griffin, what I was going to ask is, for Reboot, Deboot, Major Tuneage, if someone was to say, what one episode of each of those should I listen to, which one would you recommend?
For Major Tuneage, I would start with Season 2, which is coming out this March. Start with the album Mark's Pick, Danny Schmidt's Parables and Primes. That was a really cool one. And then for Reboot, Deboot, oh god, there's a movie called Cat People. It's actually the black and white horror film that is the birth of the jump scare, really. And then in the 80s, they remade it. But there is some fun facts that I find that borderline traumatize Alex as we do the fun fact section. And hearing him react to that just fills me with joy because it's so out of pocket. It's so crazy when I do these deep dives and I look at like liner notes and behind the scenes stuff. So check out Cat People over at Reboot Deboot, and then this March, Major Tuneage comes back, and I think our third episode is going to be Danny Schmidt's Parables of Primes.
Awesome.
Sounds like Tim's kind of movie. He loves cat people, specifically cat women.
Do you know that Tim did a podcast? It's finished now, called The Fanatic. Where they watched The Fanatic every single week for a year, and then season 2 they watched Halle Berry's Catwoman every single week for a year and reviewed it.
Reviewed is a strong word.
Why is what Griffin was going to say. Why?
Yeah, it was.
It's a bad movie, and it's an interesting experiment to see what you can pick out of by an exercise of repetition.
So, I'm just fascinated by this now. So, okay, really quick, Tim. At the start, the first time you watched it, compared to the last, what had changed?
Of The Fanatic or Catwoman?
The Fanatic. Well, no, Catwoman.
Catwoman, I grew more and more over the course of the months hating that movie. Like, getting so fucking tired and drained, and I could feel myself age, like, watching Catwoman. The two things that are burned into my brain with that movie are Halle Berry attacking some people robbing a jewelry store while she does a cool backflip and rides one of the robbers like a skateboard and then says, meow, like that's a joke. And then Sharon Stone saying the words, my husband, just burned into my head.
He still says it nowadays sometimes. But Tim, what about the cat burping in her mouth or sexy basketball?
Okay, sexy basketball is dumb, but cat burping in Halle Berry's mouth to give her cat powers might be the funniest thing I've ever seen in a movie.
The thing is, Griffin, Tim did this live and he watched the movie. I don't know if it's worse, but Alex edited the podcast for them and he didn't.
He edited
even
season
watch
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's going to be a season 3 of this, and Tim and I think I have a movie for you.
Griffin, what movie would you choose?
Okay, if I was being serious?
It has to be a bad movie is the point.
They did Catwoman and The Fanatic.
If it has to be a bad movie, flat out, we're watching The Asylum's Alien Predator.
No, I don't mind that movie.
Or there's a movie called It Be an Evil Moon.
I've heard of It Be an Evil Moon.
It's bad. It's really...
Well,
so,
there you go.
my favourite... Well, we'll get to Rainbow Six in a second, but my
Sure.
favourite fact about The Fanatic that I really love as a movie... Griffin, if I were to tell you it's starring John Travolta, and is directed by Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit fame, and had a budget of $12.5 million and came out in cinemas in 2020. How much do you think it made at box office?
Wait, no, I remember this, because I laughed. I was like, this is going to be a garbage fire. But, okay, how much do I think it made?
Across 50...
$7,000.
Less.
Oof. Go on.
Try $1,254.
It's a good thing Fred Durst is so rich from all that Limp Bizkit money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
And John Travolta's famous that face-off money.
So when we do Reboot Deboot, I always do these, I do deep dives into behind-the-scenes stuff, and on the original set of the original Magnificent Set, Yul Brynner and Steve McQueen got into a diva fight where Steve McQueen took his hat off in the background to drink from the water, and Yul Brynner complained to his agent saying, that bastard is trying to upstage me. Then Yul Brynner got a horse, but he thought that Steve McQueen's horse was taller, so then he threatened Steve McQueen by saying, if you ever try to upstage me again, I'll take my hat off, and then no one will look at you.
Awesome.
They just went back and forth. Trying to...
It's like me and Alex on this podcast. Flipping that around, so I found out what Griffin would have for The Fanatic. Mm-hmm. Tim, Alex, what one album would you do for Major Tuneage? This is that question of the episode, by the way.
It's any pick. It can be any choice. There are only 2 rules on Major Tuneage. No soundtracks, no opera.
And you prefer niche.
You can pick anything. It's just I told Mark I don't want to talk about Guns N' Roses, the Rolling Stones, because those are stuff you can find everywhere. What's the point of having a music podcast if you're just going to hear 2 people talk about albums that have already been talked to at length? But when we have guests on, which is coming at the end of season 2, we're going to have you guys on as bonus tracks. You can pick whatever. It's whatever album you want, any decade, any genre. No, nothing is off the table except for soundtracks and operas.
I think the thing I'm probably going to go for, and it's going to be a cheeky little plug to my friend's band, Adult Leisure, The Songs You Don't Know Yet. Genuinely really good album.
Okay.
I don't have any friends, but I would have to go with one of my favourite bands in the world. It's a Swedish metal band called Machine Supremacy.
Yeah.
I know all of about 3 people in real life who know of this band. They're not some like really small underground thing. Make it 4 now, yeah. But they're just really good. I really like them.
Hell yeah.
They're a genre where they're the only people in the genre, so...
So, Alex, Machine Supremacy, which album did you say?
Probably Redeemer. It was the first one I got from them. It was 2004.
There you go, Griffin. Locked and loaded, ready for you.
Sick, yeah.
Nice.
We have like
I
7...
Griffin's agent.
I am, yeah. And
we have like...
demand 14%.
We have 7 more... You'll get 7 and be happy with it. We have 7 more episodes, and then we're going to start doing mixtapes. We're going to start doing bonus tracks, and that's where we have guests on, and then you join the Tuneage.
Nice. Well, I'm going to make you listen to Distraction Pieces by Scroobius Pip.
That's fine.
That's what I'm going to make you listen
That's
to.
Fine. Let's bring it all on.
Beat poetry at its finest. So.
Mark, Sailing Point, Buffalo Jones, and I fear no music, and we embrace it all.
Cool. Find your most emo band in the world and give it to Griffin because he loves the genre.
What about Hugh Laurie's jazz career?
You know, and there's Hugh Laurie. There's Hugh Laurie jazz career. There's Bruce Willis's funk band. There's Clint Eastwood's jazz band. There's
William Shatner's Anything.
There is Christopher Lee's metal career.
Christopher Lee's metal career is incredible.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Now that we're 15 minutes into the episode, we should talk about the game.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to do, and you're still interrupting, Tim. So we're here to talk about Rainbow Six Siege. It's a tactical first-person shooter developed by Ubisoft Montreal. It released December 1st, 2015. It's available absolutely everywhere. That's PC, PlayStation, Xbox. Luna is listed on there for some reason. It's fully cross-play. It's 11 years old. And it's fucking massive. So, I know how Griffin feels about it. Griffin, we'll come to you after the boys. Tim, what do you think of Rainbow Six Siege?
The game's good. It's not without its historic troubles, but the great thing about Rainbow Six as a live game service is the fact that most troubles are, generally speaking, patched out and addressed. The developers are very open with what they plan on doing with the game, which is good. They're very receptive for feedback, which is nice. Gameplay is satisfying in terms of like your available approaches to any given objective. If you're playing competitive with the bomb sites, or if you're playing hostage, or I don't know, drone racing mode, which they sometimes do, or friendship is magic, or whatever it is. They have plenty of map variety, plenty of operative variety, lots of representation, always a big plus. The only thing I do not care for, and by do not care for, I am massively underselling it, it's closer to do not give a shit about, is the lore. I normally like lore, but holy crap do I not care about Rainbow Six lore. What I want is a person with a gun and a cool ability. Leave it alone.
We'll get onto that in a minute, but it's good foreshadowing for our conversation. Alex, what are your thoughts on Rainbow Six?
I mean, it's a live service game that's been going on for 11 years now. 11, 12 years, give or take. And it isn't an MMO, so it's obviously got legs. Me and Tim played it quite a lot back in the day. We've started playing it a lot again now, thanks to Griffin. I wouldn't say it's one of my favourite games in the world. It's not even one of my favourite shooters, but it's a good time. It's definitely something you want to play with friends.
You've offended our guest, Alex.
Well,
if you're in the UK as of today, unless you submit your government ID, you can only play with friends.
Well, yeah. In a party.
Sorry.
In a party,
Sorry,
yeah.
Alex. Sorry, Alex.
But to what Tim said as well, it's a Ubisoft game, so take with that what you will in terms of its problems. It's a live service game. Take with that what you will. It's not a bad... And it's a competitive multiplayer game. Take of that what you will. Because, holy crap, I've seen some toxic communities. and this is one of them.
Wow. Well,
On paper, it sounds like it shouldn't work.
It does, but it does.
Thought you'd come out and go, God, what a good time! Isn't it fun to play with your friends? And you just
I enjoy
shat all
playing.
over
I
it.
enjoy playing it, but it's certainly not like it's not a golden pedestal type of game. It's down in the weeds, but that's where the fun is.
Weeds, but that's where the fun is. Well, Griffin, what do you think of Rainbow Six? Your
It
energy
is-
was so high before Alex spoke.
No, because, look, I like Siege, but I like Siege in a bubble. I like it when it is competitive and when there is zero toxicity. And I will say that it used to be way more toxic, and over the years, Ubisoft have done things to cut that out. They've turned on reverse friendly fire. They have it auto-muted the enemy team, so that just cuts out a lot of it. And then
That one guy.
the muting of your own teammates if they're being toxic, along with just they have cut out a lot of avenues for just general toxicity. But there are times when I'm like, Siege could be better, and then, Ubisoft do what Ubisoft do. And then it just, Overall, though, I do enjoy the gameplay when it is a core, clear concept.
I would like to commend Ubisoft for making a game that doesn't involve climbing towers to unlock bits of a map and unlocking areas using various animal parts.
You don't know what's in store for season 15.
That's true.
True.
That's true.
Years ago, they were talking about operators to add, and everyone was saying, what about an operator with a dog? What about an operator with a dog? And one of the devs came out and they said, sure, but do you really want to kill a dog in Rainbow with the graphics and the sounds that we have? And everyone went, nope, you're totally right. I don't want that.
What if it was a chihuahua?
It's still...
Chill.
It would be the blood spray and then the wine, right? Like the blood spray and the wine
It
and
would be a grenade and you'd throw it at a wall.
Fetch, boy, fetch!
So, yeah, they canned that idea. They quieted that idea pretty quickly.
It's the most useless drone.
I think
This has descended quickly, guys.
I think it is fair to say that Ubisoft have done quite a good job with trying to tackle the toxicity, because you get a lot of live service games, especially in the competitive scene, so things like the MOBAs like League of Legends, and then hero shooters like Valorant, where toxicity is so rife and the devs just go, I don't give a shit. They're playing our game and they're paying us money for skins, we don't care. But Siege has kind of gone, we need to sort this.
If you put a competitive environment and gamers in the same room and say don't be toxic with each other, they're going to explode just from the sheer pent-up stress.
That's why I'm not going to say it. That's why I'm not going to say it at your stag do.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, and this is coming from someone who does play competitive fighting games, the toxicity is very, very real across most competitive games, I would say. So Ubisoft taking a stand on it, big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. I like Siege. We went very quickly into the toxic side. I came to this game much, much later than all of you guys. I would say I've played this for less than a year.
You've not been beaten down by it yet.
Exactly. My spirit hasn't been crushed by Tachanka's thick thighs. But I find... Well, you will hear my thoughts on this one day, because I've promised that I will make a YouTube video exclusively for YouTube about being a brand new player to Siege 11 years on. I find that people that play Siege stick with Siege. Tim and Alex, I know that you took a break, but going back to it, you seem to jump straight back in and enjoy it. And I imagine that the reason that you stopped playing was because the next shiny game came along. The same reason we stopped playing Helldivers, the same reason we stopped playing Night Rain. The next shiny thing came along.
I think
and didn't go back to it.
Was it Warzone that came along, Tim?
Probably.
Or
I mean,
was
I'm
it PUBG?
looking.
It was one of the two.
I'm looking at when because I remember joining during Operation Grim Sky when Clash and Maverick came out.
Hey, me too. Twinsies.
Cute.
Year 3, maybe, and now we're as of the time of recording, we're about to go into year 11.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a good amount of years later. I'm not going to do the maths. You can do it, but it's like there's been solid amounts of updates throughout, and I've put if I pull my Steam library up here, 532 hours into Siege.
Griffin's laughing like that's rookie numbers.
That's yeah.
But like it's fair to say I've
Griffin, tell
put
us.
time in.
Tell us.
Do I have to?
Yeah, do you know what? Round table, everyone out.
Fourth.
Jesus. So I've got 335 on Steam, which is when we were playing, Tim.
Mm.
And then, for some reason, when we all came back to it, I decided to start it on Xbox, where I've got about 150 hours, so...
That'll presumably because it was on Game Pass for a while, where all the operators were free.
Possibly,
It still is.
Yeah,
It
it's
still
still
is.
there. So yeah, probably about 480 hours.
I don't know how many hours I have because
3.
Xbox doesn't tell me. Yeah, three and a half at most.
That's pretty good.
You can get to your Xbox. You can get to your Xbox hours, Joey.
Yeah, that you outed me, so now you gotta put your time in there.
He just said 3.
I've revealed that I've spent more than a full year in game on Football Manager.
So if you click on your profile picture at the top, Joey,
Yeah.
and go to view profile.
This is what people come to the podcast
Find
for. It's
Rainbow
troubleshooting.
Find
Where's Rainbow Six?
somewhere on the list.
We'll find it. Hold on.
God, I wish we had a sponsor segment.
Tim, make up a sponsor while I do this.
This episode is sponsored by Flashlight. Go fuck yourself.
Is that all you got? I need time to find this, Tim.
That's all they gave me. That's all they've paid us for.
Do more.
Hey parents, do you have kids out there? Do your kids like toys? Well then check out the new line of fidget spinners and Rubik's Cubes from the Toy Factory. That's right, with these line of toys, they will keep your child entertained, and it's not just pointless fun, it's entertainment and educational too. So get on down to your local toy store, hop onto Amazon, and order the brand new line of fidget spinners and Rubik's Cubes from Toyco, the Toy Factory. Remember, when your child thinks fun and entertainment, think Toyco.
I feel like Toyco paid you a lot more than Flashlight paid me.
Gee, Tim, I wonder why.
I can't find it, so
God fucking damn it.
So-
Whatever.
don't worry about it. But I don't know, it's probably like 70 hours. It's probably like 70 hours.
Couple of days.
More hours, Griffin?
Bullshit.
Right. Okay, that's bullshit. But we've talked now for nearly half an hour.
Yep.
And we've gone through our thoughts, but we haven't actually said what Rainbow Six Siege is. So
Video game. Move on.
thank you, Alex. Let's move on.
End episode.
Can I ask you guys? Tim mentioned a few of the game modes. I have to be real. In my between 70 and 400 hours of playtime, somewhere in there, I've only ever played one game mode.
Rank.
Casual, unranked. No, I've played Bomb. That's the only game mode I've played.
Bomb.
And it seems to be the only game mode that anyone plays. Is that right?
No, you're not playing Quick Match enough, but Quick Match is a disgusting casual game mode, and we don't talk about it. But there are two other game modes.
Quick Match is a fucking cesspit, and I love it.
But why? So talk to me what Quick Match is.
It's the most... Imagine if you want to play a game of unranked, but you just had, like, if you were just on you're going in solo and unranked. Now picture your teammates, instead of as other players, they're more like hazards and environmental issues. But in that they will just do the most weird shit, like going into a building.
But is the point to plant the bomb or defend the bomb?
It's often to get a hostage out.
So the two other game modes are hostage, where you can either grab the hostage and extract, right, and that causes the loss, or secure area, which, capture the flag, or like King of the Mountain, King of the Hill, and then bomb. So initially, I only used to play Quick Match. It was just fun, it was simple, it was easy. I was like, I'm never going to play ranked, I don't care about ranked. Then they started tweaking the way that Quick Match worked. The site started being pre-set up, so you didn't have all your barricades. They started opening walls and certain angles for rotates that were against meta, or that just didn't work well when you're actually trying to strategize. And I'm like, alright, I'm going to start playing unranked, because at least then I have some control over the flow of my site or the team. And then it also was like, oh, it's only Bomb, because Bomb is the more competitive way to play, because there are just too many options to accidentally kill a hostage, and there's only one room, and you can double. So I started playing that, and then I'm like, well, if I'm going to play unranked, I'm just going to go and play ranked. And then by the time I went back to Quick Match, I was so used to actually having, okay, well, we set up these walls, and this operator's going to go here, and if they pick this operator, we can ban this operator, and then we're going to counter. So it just became, why would you ever play Quick Match now?
So, guys, I have a question. What's an operator?
Well, no, I'm going to rewind a little bit and explain what the gameplay loop is. Thank you, Alex. You made this so difficult to edit. The game is broken up into two teams, attackers and defenders. Your defenders will have a bomb site, which they choose on a map, which comprises of 2 bombs. And it can be in set locations on the map, but the point is that the attackers don't know where it is. So the first phase of play is how long, Griffin? About a minute?
30 seconds.
30 seconds, where the defending team will barricade walls, they'll use their abilities to reinforce barricades, they'll create loops and rotations between the sites so that they have better mobility around the sites and can defend it better, or they can go off and hide in the map where they think attackers will come in and sneak up on them. And during this phase, your attacking team has a little funny wheelie drone, and the point for them is to find the bomb. Plant your drone in somewhere that you think is useful, because this will act as your camera and your sight later in the round, either when you decide to look at cameras or you are dead, and you can call out to your team where people are using your drones. Of course, the defending team can shoot said drone if they see it, so I've seen some weird, wacky and wonderful places that mainly Tim and Griffin have put their drone, like suspended from the ceiling, hanging from a single clove of garlic in a kitchen. It's wonderful seeing the places that you can get those drones, because they're not easy to navigate, but I think you guys just know how to do it.
I spent a lot of time looking up drone parkour videos for spots.
Let's add that to your 400 hours of playtime, Tim. Oh, 900 hours. So, the point in the attacking team is to get to the bomb, and one of the attacking team will have a diffuser. The attacking team want to defuse the bomb, the defending team want the bomb to explode. Of course, the bomb never explodes, because the whole lore of Siege is that it's a training exercise, and it's like banter between nations. Good fun.
With guns and explosives.
But with guns and explosives. Have you never been
electric and bear traps and concussion mines?
Yeah.
War crime grenades.
Yeah, some of them with actual war crimes.
So
Cameras.
the next level of this, so that's the core gameplay. The next level of this is your operators, and your operators are there are about, is it 75 at the moment, unique operators?
Yeah, at the current moment there's something to that effect, but they are going back to adding 4 a year
With the goal of getting to 100 operators is what
per
they want
side.
to do.
I think I heard.
Is it per side? Bloody hell.
Was it 100
per
or
side?
They said they wanted it to be 100 total, so 25 operators per side. Or 50 operators per side. I can math. 50 operators per side. It might be, if they've changed and said 100, that would be
insane.
I can't.
League of
That
Legends
sounds
is
like too much.
word.
Like 200 operators per side, 200 individual gadgets.
Hold on. 200 operators per side. We've
Or,
gone-
sorry.
That works out to 400 operators per side.
That's
two
at least
exponentially
500
increase.
operators.
No. Like
400 per side.
100 total. 1,000 per side would no, but 100 operators total seems manageable when you really think about the way the game is played now. 200 I think would be crazy, but 50 a side sounds right.
That sounds bonkers. But so each operator has a unique set of guns. They can have a unique combination of primary weapons, secondary weapons, special abilities or weapons, a deployable thing, and one other thing that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Some sort of grenade or something.
Some sort of grenade.
Consumable and utility. You have your weapons, you have your gadget, you have your utility, and then you have your consumable. Consumable can come in the form of an observation blocker that you put down to block a camera viewpoint. It can come in the form of barbed wire, which slows down enemy attackers. It also acts as a sandler, and it does 5 ticks of damage to them per walk through. You can have a deployable shield, which acts as a half wall for cover or to slow down a push. You can also have a bulletproof camera that you put up, and then you can have a motion detector.
Nice. That's a good rundown. So it broken up into 2 teams of operators that can have that unique combination of weapons, but each operator has a unique ability, apart from Striker and Recruit.
Striker and Sentry.
Sentry.
There used to be We used to call them Power Rangers or the Ninja Turtles, because if you didn't pick an operator in time, it would default you to recruit. And if there was more than one recruit, the only way to tell them apart were the player icons, and they were red, pink, blue, orange. So you would get people doing these memes where they would all do shields, and then they would have Monty, and Monty would be the daddy shield, and then the others would be, or you would get in just an entire thing of recruits with shotguns and things like that. So for the longest time, Recruit was just seen as kind of a mean class, and it didn't really do much. Ubisoft wanted to change that, so they made Recruit a little bit different. Now the attacking Recruit is called Striker, the defending Recruit is called Sentry, and Striker and Sentry actually have a crazy consumable. They don't have any gadgets, but they can have 2 different sets of consumables, which is huge. That's their only benefit, but it comes in massive at the right time. Still, no one really uses Sentry or Striker, but
they also have a wider range of primaries to pick from as well, don't they?
They have every... Yeah.
Is it every single primary?
It is every single primary and secondary.
Woof, because generally operators are locked into 2 or 3 primaries, depending on who it is. And what you'll tend to find is you'll get one that's better for close quarters and one that's better for range, and then you pick that depending on your play style. So you might have, I think Finker's got mostly LMGs, but then you get some people who just have an SMG, 2 SMGs as their choice. So it all depends on your play style.
So with each round, the point is that you choose operators that are, 1, going to fit your playstyle, but 2, counter the operator on the opposite team. So this is all stuff I've learned through playing with Griffin, who has taught me the ropes. And at the start of each round, the team will ban an enemy operator. So if they think someone is particularly problematic or is particularly difficult for the map or location that you're in, you can ban them, and they are banned for the entirety of that game that you play. You play rounds until a team gets to 4. First to get to 4 will win, and halfway through you swap sides. So you will start defending or attacking midway through. After 3 rounds, you will swap sides and you will attack or defend depending on which one you started on. So my question for you guys, if you had to choose 1 operator from the defending team, 1 operator from the attacking team, I want to know who you'd choose and why, and please give me a bit of a rundown of their ability for anyone who isn't particularly familiar with Siege.
When you say who would choose, is this who would pick as like a main, effectively?
Yeah, basically. And we are doing this in the style of the game, so if someone chooses it before you've got to change your mind, I'm afraid. So we're going to start, let Alex... No, not Alex. Fuck Alex. Let Griffin go first. Griffin, who's your main?
Well, so to answer the question, I'm not going to get into semantics yet. But
Get into semantics. Just tell me. Go for it.
Okay. So yes, you do have a main, but the goal of Siege is always to learn how to flex, because if that operator gets banned or if someone else picks that operator, it's better to have at least... you want more tools in your toolbox, right? So with Siege, it's better to learn at least 4 operators comfortable. You know what the guns are like, you know what the attachments of the guns are like, you know the firing pattern of the weapons, you know the gadget, you know how fast they are, and the more comfortable you feel with those operators, if they get banned, doesn't matter. If someone else picks them, it doesn't matter. If there's a site that you know you like to attack and an operator has a specific gadget or loadout that is just really good for that one, pick that. I play sites now. My evolution of Siege was picking an operator I feel comfortable with, picking an operator the team needs, and then picking the operator that is site-specific. And sometimes there are universal operators, Echo, Thorn, Doc, who just their gadget is really good all around, and you can make it work, or there are really site-specific operators. Alibi, Mira, Kaid, and Bandit. So if I had to pick, I would have like a rotating list of like 5 or 6 that I'm really comfortable with. But if I have to pick one, do you want attack or defense first?
You tell me. Dealer's choice.
So she's been a favorite of mine since she came out. I gotta go with Thorn. Give me your shotgun, give me that machine pistol, give me the shield, and her 4 now razor blooms.
And tell us about razor blooms. What is a razor bloom for someone?
So they are...
No idea.
They are proximity detonated grenades, basically, that fire out shrapnel. If you get hit with them directly, you are dead, and if they clip you or wing you, it does a percentage of your damage, like 25 health, and it will cause you to actually be able to not sprint for 25 seconds. And it leaves a blood trail, which is huge, because then you have auto cue because your operator would be moaning from the wound. You have visual trail because you can follow the blood, and you can't sprint if you get hit with those. And now she gets 4 of them, and they fire quicker, which is crazy.
Nice. And how about your attacking operator?
I gotta go Lion and give me frag grenades. Lion has a motion detecting drone that is above sight at all times outside. When you trigger the drone, any defending operator that moves while the drone is firing, it will ping their location in real time for the attacking team.
So you can see exactly where they are in real time. That's when you play red light, green light.
Yep.
The rounds. Nice. So Thorn and Lion are out. Tim.
For my attacking operator, I'm going to cheat a little bit and pick someone who isn't out yet.
No.
But I'm going to main them day 1. They're sick.
Okay. Well, no.
Solid
It's not
snake.
out yet, so you can't say that'll be yours. You might be terrible.
Calling dibs on it, but if we're following that, then I'm going to go with Ace, who is a hard breaching operator, arguably the best hard breaching operator.
What's a hard breach, Tim?
So, something the defenders can do is reinforce the walls with big steel things that God knows how they're carrying that many of them. And the defenders get like 10 around. And the whole idea is that there are certain floors and walls and ceilings or whatever in Rainbow Six Siege maps that are considered breachable. You can either, throw grenades at them or shoot holes in them or whatever. If you reinforce a wall with steel, you're not going to shoot through it, you're not going to blow a hole in it unless you get someone who can hard breach. So this is people like Thermite and Hibana and Ace and anyone with a hard breach consumable. Essentially, it is a context-specific explosive that will blow a hole in reinforced walls. The defenders are trying to say you're not coming through here. The attackers are saying, well, yes, we are, and here's how. Ace has, I don't remember what the name... Oh, Selma is the name of his device, but I just call it Breach in a can. Because he just throws what looks like a can of spaghetti hoops at a wall, and it rolls down the wall a couple of times and explodes and leaves a big horizontal explosion across that reinforced wall. He's got arguably one of the best guns on attack in the form of his AK, which is great. He's not the quickest operator, but do you know what? He has got a damn good amount of utility, and I am all about the utility. So... that would be my attacker of choice. For defending, though, it's gotta be my boy Jaeger. I am a big old Jaeger fan. So Jaeger is what we call a roamer, and he will wander the map, just fucking shit up, getting into fights and little scraps. But he has these devices called ADS things. I'm going to call them ADS things. All it is, it's like a little, head on a pivot thing on a suction, it's on suction cups. You can mount it to a wall or a floor or a bookcase or a passing dog if it's nearby. And what it'll do is, if an enemy throws in any sort of utility, like a grenade or a smoke grenade or whatever, it's going by. This thing just zaps it straight out the air, and it just completely removes it. And there is a small cooldown, but there is nothing stopping you from putting another ADS down on another passing dog for you to take them. Get out the next projectile, rinse and repeat.
There's a lot of dogs in this game.
A lot of dogs in this.
There's a lot of dogs for a game that quite specifically doesn't have dogs. So nice. I was going to say, what's the other benefit of Ace, Griffin? Why do you ban Ace?
So Ace usually gets banned in ranked and pro league. With the way that they changed Mute, there's an operator, he's a defender called Mute, and his gadget blocks radio frequencies. It jams these frequencies.
He puts down a Wi-Fi router.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a hard breacher named Hibana who fires these destructible little pellets at reinforced surfaces, and then she has to trigger them. That trigger is a frequency. Mute blocks it. There's another hard breacher whose name is Thermite, who places a giant thermite pad, like a hard breaching charge, on a wall and has to trigger it via remote controlled frequency. Mute jams it. There's a hard breacher named Maverick who is a slow hard breacher because he uses an acetylene torch to cut through the reinforcements. Ace, however, doesn't need to get close to the reinforcement, and Ace doesn't have to trigger the Selma breacher. The Selma just goes, so it bypasses Mute's jamming capability and can detonate perfectly. So Every other hard breacher, their gadget will be destroyed if it hits an electrified surface. If you ban the electric denial operators, you still have to deal with mute. And thanks to Ace, he gets around that.
Nice. Thank you for that. Alex, your attacker and defender, please.
So, recently my attacker's been Ace, because he's just great to play
He's
as.
that good.
But before Ace made himself known to me, I was primarily playing Hibana on attack. Again, as Griffin's mentioned there, she's got these little pellets that she shoots at a hard breach surface. You trigger them, and they pop little holes in the wall. They're not big holes, but they're more than enough to shoot someone through. And I really like the rifles that she has, because she has a assault rifle and a single-shot marksman rifle, and that marksman rifle hits like a fucking truck. And then for defender, back in our old days, it was Echo, who has these remote-control drones that stick to the ceiling. They become invisible, and then they can fire concussive pulses at attackers, which makes the screen go all wobbly, messes with what they can hear. Really, really good utility if you're in communication with your team, because then they can capitalise on the enemy being fucked in the head. But in recent playings, I've discovered Azami, who her gadget isn't it's not the most flashy or explosive thing in the world. She throws these little knives, they stick to a surface, and they create a big old rock wall. That, coupled with her D50 pistol, is just so much fun to play with. Again, this is her secondary, which I think is actually, I prefer her secondary to her primary, because it just deletes people. And that shield coupled with grenades, you put a shield up on a door, blow up a soft wall next to them, run around and shoot them in the back of the head.
Nice. Brutal.
What about you?
So I would choose for my attacker, I really like Dokkaebi, but they're about to absolutely ruin her. But if we go by the rules that I set out for Tim, not looking into the future, looking at right now, Dokkaebi is my choice. Dokkaebi has a funny gadget that is everyone's cell phone signal, and they have to tap their phone frustratingly to turn it off. The cool thing about this is it vibrates, and if you're stood near enough to a wall or you have exceptional headphones, you can actually pinpoint where people are using the sound of their phone vibrating and them trying to turn it off. So she gets that twice per round. But if you find a body that has a vibrating cell phone and pick it up, your team then gets control of the defending team's cameras, meaning that you can basically see the whole map much, much easier. I think Dokkaebi is awesome. And then I have a serious answer for my defender, but I would choose my funny answer, which is Oryx. Oryx runs through walls, and I think
he Kool-Aids
really
around
funny.
the map.
He Kool-Aids around the map. I've made jokes before about him needing a Kool-Aid skin, but he literally runs through walls. I don't ever get any kills with him. I am terrible with him, but it does make me laugh.
Well, can I, on your Oryx comment, so Oryx does have the ability to just barrel through an unreinforced wall. Oryx also has the ability to hang out in the middle of hatches. Hatches are basically they are sections of floor between second and first floor objectives or rooms that you can shoot out. Oryx is the only operator, he is the only operator on defense who can actually interact with these. Oryx can hang out in the middle of these, and he's pretty hard to see. And if you're not expecting an Oryx, and then you go into plant and there's a hatch there, and you can get shot from the hatch because you don't see an operator in the room, that's pretty annoying. The best way to use Oryx is to play that verticality. He's also a great counter for shields.
But I like to run through the walls and ruin sight when we're setting up. It's a funny meme character. If I was to go for a serious one, I really like Maestro on the defending team. He sets up cameras that shoot thermal lasers at people. So if you place them well, you can either block off an entry point with them or mark sight so that people get shot when they're planting the bomb.
They are bulletproof while they are closed. They become vulnerable when you open them to shoot your laser.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in their closed form, if you don't have the right operators to deal with that, it becomes a problem really quickly.
But I think what you got from, or what I hope you got from that, is we chose 8 operators out of 75, and the variance of them is enormous. I think Griffin once said to me that Siege is like a chess match. You need to figure out what your opponents, the way they play, and you need to counteract it, and you need to have a plan going in. I think your map knowledge becomes really, really important. The bit where I fall down is when I point a gun at someone and shoot, I never shoot where I intend to shoot. I'm not quick enough with my aiming. But that doesn't take away from my enjoyment of playing the game, because when you do get something, it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. And I think I would point people to Griffin's Twitch, which is the Renegade Jester, and just look at some of Griffin's Siege clips, where my favourite one is the John Wick one. Just walk us through the John Wick one. The John Wick one was awesome.
So I was playing Thorn, and we were on the map Outback. For those of you Siege players, it is the Australian map. We got that on Operation Burnt Horizon, where they introduced Mozzie and Gridlock. So we were down. It's 5v5. We were down 2v5 is what we were down. We were defending, they were attacking, and one of my only other surviving teammate was off of site, and I was rotating around into the back of sight. As I'm getting close, I hear a shield, because shields make a very distinctive noise. I switched to my machine pistol as Thorn, and as I round the corner, I see Ace and Blitz, a problematic operator. I fire with the machine pistol and I down Ace, but I don't kill him. As I'm doing that, Blitz rushes at me, but I sidestep behind him and melee him. Meleeing in Siege is an insta-kill. As the Blitz dies, I move forward. I miss one shot with a shotgun on the downed Ace, because out of the corner of my eye, I see the other shield operator, Blackbeard, behind me, and I panic. So I switch back to my shotgun. I shoot Blackbeard's feet. Luckily, he had already taken damage from a Razor Bloom. He dies. I turn around. I then knife Ace. The final shot comes in the second part of that clip, where I am holding my shotgun, I'm holding an angle, and thanks to my headphones, I hear them prime a grenade, so I know that they're holding a grenade in their hand and they're about to throw it. I know, because of the way the game works and mechanics and timing, they don't have enough time to switch to a weapon from that grenade. So I just peek around the corner, shoot them in the chest at close range, and we secured that match. And all of that happened in the span of maybe 7 seconds.
Ridiculous. It's good fun.
Pretty cool.
I think so. I've got a quick thing for you, but one thing I really want to highlight that I think is Siege's absolute strongest suit is its audio design. The audio in Siege is it's a weapon in itself. I've never played a game where you can basically pinpoint where people are just by shutting the fuck up and listening to them move. You can tell what operators are up, like say you're in the room below, you can tell what operators are there by, you can actually tell by the footsteps is what I've heard if you know the game well enough, but you can tell by them setting up their devices, you can tell by, you can tell where they are by the footsteps above you. You can tell if Dokubi's on the team, for example, the vibrating of a phone will give everything away to you. I just think the audio design is absolutely unreal.
It's good.
Anyone on that? It's good. Okay,
it's good.
Good. Right, so we normally talk about the lore and the story of a game. Tim has hit the nail on the head. The lore of Rainbow Six Siege is batshit. I went to research it today and did not understand what I was reading.
Like, I like batshit lore. I like my Tekken lore. I love my Guilty Gear lore. I love BlazBlue lore. I am not going to put any time into Siege lore.
Why?
Because it's boring. It's really boring, and it doesn't do anything, and it just kind of sits there like some sort of weird lore lump.
You should go to the doctors and get that checked.
It keeps oozing at me.
Does everyone agree with that weird lore lump analogy?
Well, here's the problem. We need to remember, this is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. This is inspired by the Tom Clancy Rainbow Six novels. All the games are taken from that. The entire franchise starts as a book. And the books are very military operation. It's sleek, it's sexy, it's steeped in like military bureaucratic diplomat, and then equal parts like, no, you can't do that, and then like being hero bullshit, but then it's also like very methodical and very, and then explosions and big operations. So you have that book, but then you get the lore of Siege, and it's like, well, what are we actually doing? It's 5. It's supposed to be training grounds, but we're actually getting hit with blood, unless it's a paintball. But then there's an operator on defense who literally like does an interrogation on it and then kills them, like stabs them with a knife. So it's not a simulation, but it's supposed to be a simulation, like in the event of an actual bomb going off in one of these locations. And then like trying to dive into the lore, like Pulse and Habana are in a secret relationship since the first R6 Invitational. Pulse is actually bi. Flores is not an operator, he's actually a gentleman thief. He's also Rainbow's first gay operator. Sins is non-binary, Osa is trans. Cav is looking for her brother, and that leads into one of, I think, Tom Clancy's Ghost Wildlands? Like, there's lore of Siege, and every season they add more and more lore, and all of these characters have lore. Like, Finka is dying from internal illness, Doc is looking after her, Kapkan was her mentor, and I think Tachanka is her drinking buddy. But none of that crosses over into gameplay. None of what what I just told you applies to anything that happens in game.
It doesn't matter. Like, it's cool the representation is there. I think that is particularly important, which is obviously a massive thumbs up from the Game Club pod, but I do not care that Pulse and Habana are bumping uglies every now and again. And I do not care that Thermite had a bad weekend once and now he's lost his hearing or something. I don't know. It just doesn't do anything.
I totally agree.
At the end of the day, it's a tactical FPS. You're not going into a tactical multiplayer FPS for the story. You are going in there to shoot people and ruin someone's day.
But if I draw this is Old Man Tim rambling about fighting games again.
Oh, here we go.
If I draw like Tekken as a comparison, we have established lore of Kazuya Mishima is like the devil incarnate, and his dad threw him in a volcano to try and stop the devil, but he had a son called Jin Kazama who also has the devil gene. It sounds like nonsense, but then not only does this stuff kind of come into cutscenes and the campaign mode if you're into that, but it's also there in the introductions to the fights where they'll have special introductions with each other, and the outros, or they might have unique dialogue, and Siege does unique dialogue sometimes, super fucking rarely, which I know is going to be impossible across 76 different operators. That would be a monumental amount of dialogue. But then if you're going to commit to the lore, I feel like you need to commit to committing to the lore.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk about it in Ubisoft.
No, but they put the effort in. They put too much effort in. So we're not going to talk about lore. Instead, what I've done is gone online and looked for... I searched in... Our producer, Al... This is a running joke we have. Griffin, every time we use AI...
I know.
Producer Al.
I know.
Yeah, no, sorry, Al. Al is in my earpiece. I asked Al for some advice. Give me advice on how to play Rainbow Six Siege. So I have some points of advice, and I would like you guys to rank out of 1 to 5, 1 to 6. There we go. 1 to 6. I want some high IQ here. How good this advice from the producer Al is, okay? Number 1, intel is more valuable than aim. In Siege, a player with mediocre aim but well-placed drone can beat a cracked aimer every single time.
I'm going to go with a 5, because, yes, intel is absolutely power in a game like this, but if you're aiming at the floor and they're aiming at your head, I'm going to hedge my bets in a gunfight the person aiming at your head is going to win.
Okay, Griffin?
So then surely you want to give it a low score to him, not a high score.
Well, no, because if you have intel, you can feed that to your teammates. It's a team game,
you sacrifice yourself.
Yeah.
Cool.
You Jesus it.
Cool. You Jesus it. Griffin, Alex, thoughts on that?
It's a 50-50 because the majority of games just turn into death matches. It doesn't matter that there's and I'm sure it's different in the pro leagues and the higher ranking lobbies, but in the lobbies that us plebs play in, most rounds just turn into a death match, and at that point you'd want better aim than intel. But it's one of them. Intel is good, intel is helpful, but as Tim said, if you're aiming at the floor the entire time, it doesn't matter if you know someone's there.
So 1 to 6?
No, 2, 3,
nice.
2.5. 2 3/4.
Griffin.
Final offer.
I'm going to say 4.
4. Okay, cool. Anything that these guys haven't covered?
This is where, like, your comments on sound design, this is where this comes in. I normally play in Platinum and Gold lobbies. I am Platinum 3, which puts me in the top 10% of Rainbow Six Siege PC players. And in the higher lobbies, they don't breach in the building in the first minute. It's all setting up drones, it's all cruising around sites and floors and learning where entry is and learning where defenders' gadgets are, and when hard pings, which is when there's a key press and it will tag an enemy as red and the enemy will know they've been spotted. But everyone uses soft pings, which is another key press which doesn't alert the enemy that they have been tagged. So in higher rank lobbies, we're not hard pinging everyone because we don't want to give our drone spots up. It's much more methodical, it's much more pulse roaming second floor. Smoke and plant, hit the plant, claymore down, left side, flank, hold it, top floor footsteps. It's much more communication and it's much more methodical in its approach. But again, if the amount of times I've been screaming at the screen, like, he's behind you, use your headphones, you fuck! And like, you just, you hear a shotgun or you hear a footstep and it's like, alright, well, all the intel in the world did not save them from what just happened.
Okay, so what are you giving out of 5? A 4?
3.
A 6, sorry. 3 out of 6. Cool. The 10-second rule. So the 10-second rule says that most rounds are lost because attackers wait until there are 15 seconds left to push the objective. It says execute by 45 seconds remaining. Aim to have a wall open and be ready for the final push and the 45-second mark. This leaves room for mistakes or utility clearing. Griffin, we'll go reverse order.
5.
5, okay. Solid advice. Alex?
Yeah, probably a 5. It's solid because so many times we've lost a match because some knobhead's been roaming around off of, like, 10... Because Tim's been roaming the other side of the map. And then he's gone, oh shit, there's 10 seconds left and I don't even have the diffuser.
Okay, 5. Tim?
3.
3. Because you love roaming.
A, I bloody love roaming. B, every round is different. So, like, I appreciate what the 10-second rule is trying to do. I think it is solid enough advice, and there is probably a lot of truth in a lot of rounds losing because of the lack of observation of the 10-second rule. But that doesn't take into consideration things like rushes, for example, which is a valid strategy.
Okay, cool. There are loads of these. I'm just going to choose one. This one is called Vertical Play, brackets, the secret weapon. Now, Griffin is nodding his head, but let me read you what they've said here. I was going to cut that out, but I can't now. If an enemy is defending the basement, don't ever push the stairs. Use the floor above them. Use buck, sledge, or ram to break the floor. And then it says, defenders hate looking up. You can see the top of their heads through the floorboards. The round is basically over. Break the floor every time. Alex, we're going to start with you on this one.
I think vertical play is very good because most of the time when you're defending a site, you are looking at points of ingress. You're looking at doors, you're looking at stairwells, you're looking at windows. You're not necessarily focusing on what's above you. And if everything above you is soft floor, yes, there might be girders in the way, so it's slatted, but there's still more than enough room for someone to put a hole in the floor and then pop you in the head.
So out of 6?
The thing was play vertical, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was play vertical, but it said every time.
Every time is a bit strong. It's a 4 out of 6. The idea of playing vertical is good, but it is not going to be a one size fits all.
Okay, cool. Griffin?
I would say 5 because vertical is such a strong... I mean, Tim as a roamer understands. We're on defense, I'm going to go roam second floor because I know we didn't ban Fuse, I know we didn't ban ROM, I know they're at least going to have one of those operators, they're going to have a sledge, they're going to have a buck, and I'm not dealing with that. I've been killed on this site every damn time because of that Fuse that we haven't blocked, so someone's got to go take care of that, It's, I don't know about every time, but most of the time vertical is the way to set up. And if the big brain play is to plant, like if you're on bottom side, okay, you are on coastline, you are in kitchen, you have someone plant coastline, you have them sink the plant, totally fine. Have them run up and shoot a hole over diffuser on the second floor, so they're watching diffuser from a vertical angle, and that way any defender who clears the bottom is going to be fine. And as soon as they start diffusing, just shoot them through the floor. It's no one looks up, no one looks up, no one looks down. Vertical play. The amount of times I've killed people is pulse with a C4 through the floor. I mean, it's just no one pays attention to it. 5.
Okay, Tim.
I would go with a 4. I don't think "don't ever take the stairs, it'll kill you" is good advice. But, like, yeah, a lot of the time, your problems can largely be dealt with by shooting something or someone through a floor.
It's the same as shooting through soft walls. You don't necessarily have to run through an open door to get a target. You can shoot them through a soft wall if you know where they are.
I've been accused of being a hacker for doing that a few times.
Me too, because I'm so good.
And you're hacking.
And you're hacking.
Shrimp.
So, pretty solid scores. I was thinking that one of these might score badly, so I'm going to choose one that I think might score badly. I know will score badly. And this one is says, most people don't know. If you are using a camera or a drone and you hold the Z button, a red ping will appear and it will tell your team where the enemy is.
It also tells the enemy that they've been spotted.
Yep. How do we feel about that one, Tim?
Did that advice say that not many people know this?
Yes. That was
Not many
producer
people
Al.
know that if you look at the screen while you're playing the game, there will be a tooltip telling you if you press the letter Z on your keyboard, you will ping the enemy.
This is very bad advice, mostly because I don't think you should ever go on drones. No, I'm gonna... Yeah, it's gonna be maybe a 2.
Tim, I'm never supporting you as Echo ever again.
Alright. The reason I say a 2 is because, yes, if you're in a round and there is 3 minutes left and you've not entered the building and someone is just spamming Z and just scanning people, then yeah, of course, it's a really stupid move. But if you're in, like, I don't know, a 1v1 gunfight, the diffuser's down, and you have a couple of drones available, like, just planted around the room somewhere, your teammates spamming Z at the enemy are A, going to be very distracting, and B, it adds a monumental amount of pressure to that gunfight.
I mean, I was just about to say the same thing. If you're if you're the last remaining attacker, you know you've still got 3 defenders to work through, and it's constantly pinging on your screen going, you've been spotted. Scan. You just start there going, I fucking know, leave me alone.
Okay, so
it's
Tim
an
gave
annoyance
a 2.
tool.
Dos.
Tim gave a 2. Griffin?
Out of 6, I mean, I only red ping in those situations. I only red ping. Yeah, well, like, and even then, if it's more defenders than attackers, and I'm a defender, I will then red ping. But more times than not, I'm never red pinging. I'm using the yellow key ping, and I'm using, hey, he's on stairs. Hey, he's rotating around, because it just saves that camera, and having that line of sight is so much more valuable than the frustration of you've been spotted. Because any good operator anyway, any seasoned player, is going to go, okay, here are the default Valk spots, and shoot up the camera. Here's the default camera I'm going to shoot out. I hear an Echo drone, I see the wobbly Echo drone, I'm going to shoot the Echo drone. And then you lose that camera.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to give it like a 2 or a 3. Yeah, like a 2 or a 3.
Okay. Alex?
Yeah, it's a 2.
Okay, cool. I did ask for a combo of really good and really bad advice. Here's one that I can tell is bad advice. You can all give it a 1 off the bat. It's called the Fuse Special. It says, always use your cluster charges on the window of a room where the hostage is location. The game says extract. The explosions say party.
So we used to
so
have...
the advice there is kill the hostage.
We used to play a little game when we would play quick play, me and Alex and a few friends of ours.
Hostage
Called-
roulette.
We called it hostage roulette, and the idea was that whoever it was that picked Fuse just picked a wall and fucking went for it. Just send the puck through and see what happens.
So many rounds. So many, because the attackers are meant to be getting the hostage out alive, and then you just go, dunk,
Hey, that was
bye-bye
pretty
hostage.
good. That was pretty good sound effects. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Right, so guys, let's get into the core of this, our score for the game.
Yes.
So, as a reminder, it's broken down into story, gameplay, audio and visual, and then that is averaged, and we'll average all 4 of our scores. So, let's start with story. I'm going to go to Tim.
I'm going to give the story a 3.
Okay.
I'm giving it a 3 because it started out, very much rooted in Tom Clancy universe, and now it's just nonsense. Just cobbled together nonsense, and it doesn't do anything interesting. It's boring, it's non-essential. I'm pretty sure if they stopped doing lore, no one would notice.
Okay, so 3.
3.
Alex, story?
I mean, I'm giving it a 2. The Tom Clancy books are good. They're a great little read, especially if you're into that kind of military stories. But I'm not playing a tactical shooter for the fucking story. I'm not going into CSGO hoping I learn about the Russian military's love affairs. And I'm not going into Siege to learn that Hibana spends a night staring at Pulse's big bald head.
Big bald arse as well.
Yeah.
So,
Big bald
I can't
head.
tell what way up he is.
I like the thought of Tom Clancy's books being a good little read. That's feels so
It's a lovely
diminishing.
jaunt of a book.
After you've read your son The Hungry Caterpillar, read him Tom Clancy.
Griffin, your score for story, please.
Blurry Griffin.
Okay, story. I mean, out of what? Out of 10?
Out of 10.
I mean, 3, and that's me being generous.
Okay, cool. 3, being generous. I'm going to go 5, because there is a story. And I think the origins of the story are quite cool, but I don't think the rest of it matters. And I think I gave Wand of Gamelon a 3 out of 10 on story, and I prefer the story of this. I'm going to go 5. So, gameplay. Let's hope the scores improve here. Griffin, we're going to start with you, please. Out of 10, gameplay score.
Like 8.
8, okay. Anything about your reasoning there, or...?
I mean, I have said this a few times, but Rainbow Siege at its best becomes a 5 chess match. And when you have a team who are all communicating and you all know the map really well, Siege is one of the few games that is an FPS where kills don't matter. Because if you're a good team, you're going to sink that plant and you're going to hold the diffuser. And you don't even need to run out the clock fully. You just have to run out the clock to a point where the defenders don't have enough time to get through the diffusing stage. Like, at its best, Siege becomes chess. They ban this operator, we pick this operator. They set up this site, so we could act from this angle. It is that kind of play that when you get out of quick match and you get into unranked and ranked matches, and then you get into the higher ranked matches where people are willing to, like, oh, I'm going to play vert, or hey, I think I have a new line for this site, or I'm going to try to open it up this way now, and the game starts evolving. And when it does, it doesn't become static, it doesn't become run and gun, it really becomes the tactical shooter that everyone wants Siege to be. A lot of people go, well, it's not tactical enough. Right, you're not in high enough lobbies. Get better, Silver. Like, everyone's bad at this game. Okay, well, get better in your own aim. Like, learn the map more. Learn new strategies. Play new synergies. Try out new operators. There are so many steps to take to where your game can elevate. And when I started playing Siege ranked and I started really climbing, I was told I normally play solo. I'm a solo Andy. And I was told you're never going to get to gold. You're never going to get to gold. I'm Platinum 3. Mainly by playing solo by myself. And that comes down to my map knowledge and my game sense. It's a good pair of headphones and being able to adapt on the fly. I hear him breaching a window. I know if I shoot up this hatch, I can drop down to first floor. I know there's a door right here. I know I don't see a claymore. I can run out. I can at least get a kill on the window. I can run back and rotate through this wall. I can get behind these stairs because I hear footsteps on this window, which means they're going to break through. Here's a drone. It becomes chess. And when you start thinking like that, it becomes 5D chess, right? Because you're moving pieces, there's guns, there's gadgets, there's cameras, there's vertical play. At its best, Siege becomes a tactical nightmare that 10 minds are actively working together.
Nice. So 8 out of 10. I'm also going to give it an 8 out of 10 for all the reasons Griffin said. I think just as a gameplay loop, it's excellent. It feels to me it's one of those games that's kind of one more round, and I love a one more round game. I really love it. Until you find out that it's like midnight, 1 in the morning, and that one more round has turned into 4 more rounds because you're on a roll. Alex, what about you?
Yeah, an 8 sounds fair. You know, the gunplay is good. There's enough maps and operators to sort of keep it interesting each round. It can be a little bit frustrating if you have a string of bad matches. One thing I would say is the fact that each map only has 4 potential bomb sites makes it a little bit stale for me. I would love a system where you can, as part of the Defender setup, you place the bombs where you want them to add just some level of variance. Because you're still gonna get meta placements for them, but it would be interesting to be able to place sort of, you put one bomb in the corner of the basement and you put the other bomb on the second floor and things like that. Because people who have the level of knowledge of this game that Griffin has will know where every single bomb is on every single map, and it just becomes a case of, right, which one have they gone for?
I think you'd still just get people going on YouTube and searching where the meta placements are, and that would be the
hidden bomb
every
site.
time.
But it'd be funny
It would be funny.
to have it as an option.
It's always outside.
There was an event that was Capture the Flag-like, but it was a secure area, but the defender could pick up and change where the gadget was, like where the objective was. The caveat was, while an objective was carrying that, they only had access to a sidearm.
Yeah,
Nice.
which makes sense.
So
Nice.
I mean, even in the Grand Larceny one, in the Grand Larceny event, the attacker, or I guess arguably the defender as well, could change what floor the safe is on.
right, yeah, and that's just picking sites, right? That's picking where you want to defend, and yeah.
Tim, gameplay.
8 out of 10. If only for the sheer variety. Like, I'm not great at shooting games. I'm not the worst, but I'm not the best when it comes to aim, especially under pressure. But what this game does is it makes you always feel like you're doing something. If you're providing intel, passively providing heals if you're playing as someone like Thunderbird or whatever she's fucking called. Or maybe you're just caught doing call-outs on cameras. Maybe you're, maybe trying to coach someone or something. Or just something. You're always doing something, and you're doing something in a myriad of ways. You can approach sites in any manner that you fucking like if you're attacking or defend. Or even if you just want to play fun drone simulator. Why not? Go for it. It's
Nice.
good. It's really... There's a lot to it, and it's forever changing.
Nice. Great. So that's 8 across the board for gameplay. Alex, audio and visual, my friend.
It's another 8 for me. I mean, the visuals are, semi-realism, shooter graphics. It's the exact same graphics you'd see in Call of Duty or modern Splinter Cells, or any shooter game that isn't something like Fortnite is going to have this style of graphics. But the audio design on this game is impeccable. Everything from, as we've mentioned, the different sounds of the drones, the gadgets, the different sounds of operators' footsteps based on sort of how big and heavy the operator. Cav's going to sound very different to Tachanka, things like that. It's a level of thought that certainly you don't see in shooter games very often, but weirdly you don't see it in many tactical games when it's a key tactical element, using senses other than sight to know what you're doing.
Okay, nice. 8 out of 10. Griffin, audio and visual.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta go. The visual, I would say, is like a... No, actually, I gotta be fair. I would say it's a 6. The visual, I would say, is a 6. The audio, I gotta give it like a 9. Especially with the audio update they did after the main last patch. I mean, again, I have a nice set of headphones. And the amount of times, the things that have put me in platinum and like higher, it comes down to game sense and map knowledge. And game sense is, I heard someone shift. Because if you're in Siege and you're aiming down sights or you're standing still, if you move 32 degrees, that you make a noise. Or if you aim down sights, you make a noise. So if you're hugging a wall, you're walking up to a wall and you hear that noise, okay, I know there's someone there. And knowing where someone is, I always say, like, it's better to have a full team of 5, because if you know where someone is, then you know where someone isn't. If I know they're up here and it's like 3-3 and I hear this, then I know, okay, then this person can't be down. So if I shoot through this hatch and I rotate around stairs, I know they can't beat me in terms of speed to this site or this room. I know that they're up against this door, so I'm going to go through the window, or I'm going to go through the ceiling, or they're not anywhere near sight. Someone heard them on 3rd floor, I'm going to plant them because they have no time to get to us. It's the audio in Siege is so good to hear the a person turning 35 degrees is crazy. A person aiming down sights makes a noise. The way that barbed wire sounds and cameras and drones, everything has a distinct noise. And the more you play, the more you learn what those sounds are, and that identifies. Like the John Wick clip. I hear him prime a grenade. I know, okay, that's a grenade in his hand. He can't switch away. He doesn't have time. He's going to throw it. There's not enough recovery time to do button impressions. Like, to do button inputs. It's just, I win, regardless of what he does in this moment. So I got to give the, that balances out to like an 8.
Okay, very nice. Tim?
I'm going to go with 7. And, sorry.
Get off the podcast.
Reason I say a 7 is because, as we've hammered to death at this point, the sound design is doing hard amounts of carry for this game. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's an 11-year-old game and it looks like an 11-year-old game.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, they have done very well with the engine, and the maps on their own are visually impressive. God damn, do the people look like some shit from the Xbox 360. And when your objective is to look for people, it's not the prettiest thing in the world. I think what they've done with the UI and what they've done with the maps is great, but good lord, we need some cleaner models on the humans, or robots in Scopus' case.
Okay, cool. I actually don't agree. I think this game looks really good, even by 2026's standards. I think the maps, the layout, it's all really clear what everything does. Every operator, if you see them, I sometimes get confused because there's so many different skins, but you generally know which operator is there, which means you can work out what's kind of coming up for you, either in defense or in attack. I think it looks really good, even by today's standards. And, I mean, the sound has been praised so heavily, there's not much more I can add to it. If I was to break it down, 7 on visual, 9 on sound, so another 8 on sound. That gives me a 7 out of 10 overall. Griffin, I've been calculating yours because I didn't warn you that we do our own. But you've given it a 6.3 recurring out of 10, if that's fair. Tim?
Works out to a 6 on the nose for me.
Okay, great.
Mine is also a 6 on the nose.
Very nice. Okay, that leaves us with God, that doesn't seem right. 8.4 recurring. That's not right at all.
That's definitely not right.
I'm going to do some
I do want to say, though, I know my score averages to a 6, but I still don't feel like that's right. Because, and I know we said this earlier, the story and the lore does that little to the point that I don't even I don't know if I'd ever really consider it if I was just to give it like a blanket score. Does that make sense?
There was a time I used to care about the lore, and I'd watch every operator video, and I'd read all the dossiers on them, and at some point I was like, why? I'm invested in the gameplay and the competitive aspect, because I'm not a competitive person, but when it comes to Siege, that's where I put my competitiveness, that's where it funnels. I don't care about the lore of the story. Like 6, I know that based off of everything, gameplay, visuals, and all that, but really I would put Siege up there. Yeah, I'd put Siege at an 8 in terms of my enjoyment for what the game does. And what the game does is it provides a very satisfying, fast-paced, 3-minute round burst of 5v5 chaos. Sometimes you get a team who just want to rush, and they say that, and we're going to rush plant. And they pick, everyone knows what okay, I'm going to go Monty, I'm going to go Finka, I'm going to go Kapkan, I'm going to go Ying, let's go. And within 10 seconds, there's a breach in a plant. And it's like, what the fuck just happened? We set up site. We had 30 seconds. We had cameras and shields, and they just rushed in and planted. And we did nothing to stop it because we weren't expecting it. Or...
we're going to break the scoring system. Are we going to break the scoring system? Because a 6.3 overall is what the Game Club Pod has given.
I'd say that's fair.
You think that's fair?
Yeah.
I think that's low.
I think it's a little low too.
But equally, I don't think it's fair on every other game we've rated to break the scoring system.
Correct.
I don't think... Do you know what? No, I'm going to say we shouldn't break the scoring system, because if they did a better job with implementing the lore in some meaningful way, then it would have been bumping up the score.
Right, yeah.
6.3 recurring puts it on about par with Pokemon Soul Silver.
What a game, though.
Yeah, that puts it below South of Midnight, puts it below Remnant, below World of Warcraft, about online with Timberborn.
I actually think you guys did Remnant dirty. Joey didn't play enough. You can't. Remnant is not a one playthrough thing. You guys got to play through. You completed it one time, which is not completing it. You didn't get the alternate weapons. You didn't get the alternate things. I think you guys did Remnant.
Either way,
Griffin,
Puts it below Repo.
Griffin, what would you give this out of 10? If I just asked you independently, not bothering with our 3 average score, what would you give it out of 10? Okay, there you go.
Because
Pod gives it an 8 out of 10.
Because that's what that's the game and what it does. Like, I told you each. I was like, hey, you guys want to play Siege? And Joey was like, I'm not really into FPS. And I trained Joey and I started walking him through, hey, we're going to set up site this way and this is why we do it this way because of da-da-da-da-da. And it's going to be refined even now in the new update. In the coming update, it's that the meta is going to shift. The way we set up sites is going to shift. The way that operators are going to play is going to shift. It is a sand dune of a game where just when you think you have something, someone else will come along with a new strategy. Someone else will see value in an operator. I saw value in Tachanka when no one else did. I've been playing Tachanka regularly since he got reworked, and now I'm starting to see the top YouTubers in Siege, Varsity, Spoit, I'm starting to see them make videos. People have been sleeping on Tachanka. Tachanka's actually a really good operator for these specific sites that I've been playing for like 2 years, 3 years now.
Well,
there's value in these operators or lines that are being set up that it just changes the way that makes you look at the game. It changes the way you look at these operators. And I think that kind of gameplay is hard to get in most games.
So let's... I was joking with the saying 8 out of 10 overall. I think Tim's right. I think 6.3 recurring is our score. What is much more important is, Tim, do you recommend people play Rainbow Six Siege?
yes.
Alex, do you recommend that people play Rainbow Six Siege?
If you are a fan of competitive games.
Griffin, do you recommend that people play Rainbow Six Siege?
Yes.
And I also do. So 4 out of 4 on the recommendations. I think that is a much fairer measure. Alex is with an asterisk of if you like competitive games. Not sure I agree, because I'm not particularly competitive. I don't like League of Legends and all that wank, but
I don't think League of Legends players like League of Legends.
I don't think League of Legends players like anything. It's just awful. But on that note, let's call it. This has been a long one for Game Club Pod, and I think that is down to Griffin's conversational mastery and, you know, just how much you love the game shines through, and I've really enjoyed having you on to talk about it, Griffin. I know you said you don't want to pimp yourself out on Game Club Pod, but I am asking you, or, and this is not a threat, it's a promise, I will get Tim to pimp you out. So which one's it going to be?
Bitch better have my money.
Tim can do it.
Okay, so you can find Griffin on Twitch at The Renegade Jester. Go read Griffin's books. Go listen to Reboot, Deboot. Go listen to Major Tuneage. It's all good stuff all the time.
Happy, Griffin?
Thank you.
welcome.
It really is too kind of you guys. Game Club are dear friends, and I just want to thank you guys for inviting me here for this episode. It's really fantastic. I just hope I lived up to your guys' expectations and quality of work.
That is a low bar.
Good quality.
Flew over. But in the meantime, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, week, year, whenever you decide to listen to this. Tim, any message for the listener?
Take that, you bastards.
Take that, you bastards. Alex, Griffin?
Listen to Game Club more.
Don't do that.
Listen to every episode twice. Pump those numbers.
Do you know, just off topic, and I don't know if I'll keep this in, Dan sent me a picture today of what he was listening to, and it was Game Club Pod episode 1, and he said, going through for my 3rd playthrough of Game Club Pod.
My God.
Let me read
man.
you through really quickly what I said to Dan, and then I will end it. I said, he sent me that picture, and I said, oh, Dan, you innocent fool. And then I can't say what I actually said next. And I said, that is a shite episode. He said, well, I'm on my 3rd run-through of GCP catalogue, so I'm prepping a number 1 fan t-shirt for me. I said, honestly, you're a madman. So, there you go. Yeah, thank you for coming on, Griffin. We do appreciate it. And check out Griffin everywhere. Said above, Tim makes a wonderful pimp, and we'll see you next week for Thanks I Hate It.
I'm just missing my hat and cane.
Goodbye.